I have one recipe and we're using cabbage for my recipe. And Sam has a recipe also using cabbage. I'm actually really happy that we're doing that because I think it's really important to show different ways that we can use different ingredients. And cabbage is a highly nutritious vegetable. There are so many health benefits. There are so many different ways that we can make cabbage. Cabbage is used in so many different types of cuisines and all over the world in different ways. And I think it's really unique in that way. I think there are a ton of vegetables that are used in that way, but cabbage, I find, is used in so many different ways. It can be used in heavy dishes, in light dishes, and it's a really great vegetable with a lot of health benefits. So some of those health benefits is that it's high in a lot of vitamins, vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important for our immune system. And now that we're going to start getting into those colder months, that's going to be a really important vitamin that we want to make sure we're getting enough of. Vitamin K is important for blood clotting, not in a bad way, but in the way that we need. If we get a little cut, we want to make sure that we stop bleeding. So that's what vitamin K is important for. If we do have a clotting condition, we don't want foods that are too high in vitamin K. So obviously speak to your doctor if that is the case for you. But generally, vitamin K is going to be a very important nutrient, a very important vitamin. It's also high in B6, in folate. Folate is going to be very important in pregnancy to help make sure that the fetus is developing properly. It's also high in fiber. That's going to be very important for our digestive health. So it's going to help keep us satiated. It's going to help keep our bowel movements regular. It's also anti-inflammatory. The effects of it are very good. So it contains compounds that can reduce inflammation in our body, specifically in our bowel. It also supports heart health because the fiber can help lower cholesterol. It's high in potassium. It can help aid in weight loss. So years ago, there was this cabbage diet that people used to go on to lose weight. And I'm not a big proponent of that. You're basically just eating cabbage the whole day. If you're eating cabbage the whole day, you are going to be in the bathroom the entire day, likely more than one day. So not recommended, but very good thing to have at least once in our day or a few times a week because it is high in fiber. It will help promote satiety and just helping us go to the bathroom. And it also contains certain compounds that may help also reduce cancer risk as well. Obviously, there's no direct correlation, but there are some indirect correlations. And so just a very nutrient dense, highly important ingredient. And if you like cabbage, that's great. There are many ways that we can use cabbage in our diets.
Also economical.
You get one head and a lot comes out of it. So actually the reason I'm using cabbage in my recipe is because of how much cabbage I had left over in my fridge.
So my recipe today is going to be a longevity soup. So I have lots of root vegetables here that I'm using today. I have some turnips. This is what a turnip looks like. I grate the turnip. I have some leeks, some carrots, some fresh celery. It's actually very similar to a minestrone soup. I put some oil in the bottom of the pan. I put some leeks in there. I'm going to put some fresh carrot in there. A nice fresh carrot. I grate these this morning. I think my hands are still orange. I'm going to put the celery in there. I didn't need to put celery, but I had some celery in the fridge. So I was like, you know what? This is
what's the great thing about soups like that.
You can do anything you want, you know.
And what you got.
And there are actually different versions of longevity soup. So there's like an American kind of longevity. There's also an Asian kind, but we're going to do this kind today. So here's my turnip. Got some fresh turnips in there. This smells so good. I just want you to know. So
is that just one turnip, Sam? Those go
kind of far. Two. Yeah.
It's two. Okay.
Yeah, it's two. But actually, it's 1.5 because I did a recipe before that kind of split the ingredients.
This is a great recipe for using what you have.
Anything that you have in the fridge, just use it up. That's what's so amazing about this kind of recipe. It's whatever you have. Don't let anything go to waste. And I'm going to show you. I have two types of beans. I have the small red kidney beans and some vanilla beans. This is a vegan recipe. So I'm going to put a little bit of garlic. We're going to put 2 bay leaves. Please make sure you take these bay leaves out before you serve. Remember them. It's very important. Have a little bit of garlic in there. We're going to put some salt. And you can always add, never take away. So always add salt later on. You know my motto with that. We're going to put some oregano. I'm just guesstimating. I've done it this morning, so I know. See, now that's all sweated and it's actually come across nice. So now I'm going to put some tomato paste in there, just a little drop.
It also adds so much flavor, tomato.
It gives it a nice thickness as well, but it's like more of a creamy. So I'm going to add the beans in now. I'm just really chucking everything in here, honestly. I've got a can of crushed tomatoes in there. Let me stir that up. Now I'm going to add the veggie broth. I'm going to let that cook. When that's like really brought to a boil, I'm going to add the kale and then I'm going to add the pasta into it. So I got the rainbow kale, nice leafy green.
What kind of pasta are you using, Sam?
I'm using these little tubatinis. Do you see them?
Oh, they're so cute. Yeah.
And you know what? You don't have to use pasta. Honestly, I had this on hand, but you can also add barley to it. There's some really nutritious things that you can add instead of pasta.
You could probably put quinoa. Not that there's anything wrong with pasta, but
exactly. You know what? I figured I've got pasta on hand. I'm going to use it. But a soup like this, I usually put barley in or something like that because everyone in the family likes barley, and I know it's very nutritious for us. So I'm going to let that cook. While that's cooking, I'm going to show you. I have a cabbage here that I'm going to bake the cabbage. Put that over. Spread it over.
another one of these moments where if you're not a big cabbage fan or you haven't been a big cabbage fan in the past, try roasting it. See if you like it. You probably will.
Yes.
Yep.
This is a game changer. Trust
Yep.
like really.
No, I hear you.
I'm gonna
Whole
put
different thing.
salt, pepper, a little bit. It does say paprika. I'm not a big fan of paprika, so I'm gonna just mix that up. That's gonna go in the oven. But while this is in the oven, I'm gonna make a crust with this. Like you see all them little crispy pieces in there. Now this is what we're gonna do next. We have some Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna make a little crust on this. And then we're going to put it back in the oven just for a couple of minutes, but I just like to stir it in. So we're going to just do a little bit of Parmesan cheese in here. Here's pistachios. I crunched them up.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a pistachio crust. So put a little bit of lemon juice in there. And we're going to put a tiny bit of zest. Just a little. And it says you can add honey if you want. I don't think you need it, honestly. You can drizzle it on at the end as well. So I'm going to put that in there. Mix it up. And then it's going to go back in the pan just to bring it together. All right, so that'll go back on the baking sheet. Then I'm going to take you to the finish. This is my finish. Okay, so we have our longevity.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it really is delicious. I've topped it off with fresh parsley, and there is your cabbage salad. The water of the week is blueberry and lemon, and this is definitely something that you can do after you have your soup.
Nice.
Meal prep. Put your soup in a jar them up. This is so much healthier than grabbing something off the street. You know what's in it. You're getting your vitamins.
On to cabbage recipe number 2, using what I have in my fridge, using things so that it doesn't go to waste, or repurposing leftovers. So what I have in here, I'm going to tell you what I did, because I don't want to have as much as Sam has going on in her house. I don't have as many people eat what I'm making, so I try to make as little as possible. But I had a bunch of zucchini, I had a bunch of cabbage, and I had a thing of tofu. So I'm making a recipe. It's like a stir fry. So what I did first is I just did a little bit of avocado oil, and then for 5 minutes, I just browned my tofu, and then I take that out. And in that same pan, I put in my yellow and green zucchini. You can use whatever you have. I happen to have had both. And then some napa cabbage. And I let this for like about 5 minutes. Oh, actually, before I did that, I put in a little bit more avocado oil. I put some ground ginger. You can use fresh or ground, but I like to use ground just because, again, I like to show ways we can use shelf-stable ingredients. So I use my ground ginger, a clove of garlic, and I let that sit for about a minute. We don't want it to burn, but we want the aromatics to let those flavors come out. And then I put in the cabbage and the zucchini, and it smells really good already. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tofu back in. And we're going to put all of our other flavorings in here as well. So I have my tofu. And I'm going to mix that all together. I'm going to put the stove on a little bit of higher heat. So I have my tofu in there with my zucchini and my cabbage. And now I'm going to go in with sesame oil. I don't like to use too much sesame oil, but just a little bit really goes a long way with sesame oil. So I used about a teaspoon of that. And then I'm going to go in with some soy sauce. And then I'm going to go in with red pepper flakes that you don't need. So I'm going to do about a teaspoon and a half, maybe closer to a tablespoon of soy sauce. We want to get some flavor into the vegetables, the tofu. It's going to be like a stir fry. And you'll
That
see
looks
what I'm
really
gonna put
good,
it over.
Ariel.
It is so good and it smells so good. And the smell of the ginger is amazing. And you're just getting all these vegetables nice incorporated. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the red pepper flakes. You don't need a ton, but I like a little bit. See? I got it up there. You want to cook it for a bit because I find it keeps it from that light. Again, you can incorporate into all of the different ingredients that we have going on in here. So we're going to let that cook together for a minute or two. Let all the flavors, like I said, incorporate, blend together, and then set off my stove. And I'm going to place it over. I have here a bowl of rice noodles, and I'm going to put it over my rice noodles. Make sure I get all of the different ingredients here. So my tofu. And then I'm going to top it off with some sesame seeds. And this is the final product. It's super easy. You got protein, you got tons of fiber, delicious flavors, and that's it.
The magic of cabbage.